I know you wrote an article. The three thoughts coming out of it, that second preseason game for the Orange and Brown report. One of them was quarterback. Take us through kind of if we didn't touch on anything that you had in that article with the quarterback, and then the other two thoughts coming out of the preseason game against the Eagles.
The other thing about quarterback is, and I'm hoping we'll see, because the Rams don't play their starters in preseason, that the Browns won't, and they'll give each guy, assuming they're both healthy, a half to finish out the preseason, and we'll go from there. Defensive line wise, we're talking so much about Browns quarterbacks. One of the things through two games, preseason games, granted, is I'm glad that I'm sure the Browns quarterbacks are also glad that they are not facing the Browns defensive line because it is brutal going against them, whether it was Andy Dalton, DTR, or whoever else was back there. It is just constantly under siege, pressure, sacks. They aren't doing anything schemed up or all that impressive. They're just sending guys at the quarterback, and it was consistent pressure, and that is going to force difficult decisions down the road beyond, and that's before we've seen Myles Garrett on the field, before we've seen Mike Hall, who's yet to be activated, or Malik Collins on the field. The Browns' defensive line looks really, really impressive. It looks like what Jim Schwartz wants to be. And those last couple roster spots are going to be worth watching. And then wide receiver wise, and I totally understand why critics are sort of like the Browns don't have much wide receiver talent, because after Jerry Jeudy, you sit there and you go, what else is proven? And from that standpoint, it's entirely fair to say the Browns don't have anything else proven. I would just say that I sort of understand why the Browns feel not good, because I think the Browns need to be still drafting wide receiver help next year, potentially early. But I think I can understand their standpoint of why they feel pretty good about the situation they have right now. Cedric Tillman flashed really well last year, 3 games, granted, and he needs to stay healthy and continue. But if you told me that Cedric Tillman plays 17 games this year, I don't think anyone would be surprised if he had a really good season. And then the guy who's popping through the preseason and has been a guy that's getting a lot of buzz in camp in general is Jamari Thrash. And he looks confident. He looks smooth. He looks able to create separation effectively. And that becomes a huge development for the Browns, because if he can really lock down maybe that third or fourth wide receiver spot, then it puts them in a situation where they aren't having to rely on Deontay Johnson. And Deontay Johnson could be a nice player for the Browns. He could be gone tomorrow. You don't know which. But you don't want to be in a situation where you're forced to rely on him, given his recent history and how things have gone for him. So Jamari Thrash, also being a younger player, being one that they've drafted is also good news. But just not being forced to a situation where you are counting on Deontay Johnson to be a major part of your offense is a good thing.